Hello and welcome to another episode of the Winning with Shopify podcast with me, your host, Nick Truman, agency owner, veteran of podcasting now. I think I read the stat the other day that said the average podcast lasts about 18 months before it's killed. I've been hosting this for 5.5 years. In June 2026, it will be 6 years. And before that, my lovely friend Caroline was running the show as well. And Caroline, I know you still tune in, so I'll give you a little shout out from time to time. And yeah, it's been good to chat to you a lot recently as well. Totally irrelevant to the tens of thousands of people that will be tuning into this. But anyway, welcome to this week's show. We've got some very exciting news. As you probably saw in the title, we are announcing a very, very exciting Shopify Summit. I mentioned it on Friday's episode. If you didn't get a chance to catch that, I'm going to share a lot more information today. I purely said it was coming and said what it was because I've been teasing it for a while. Today, I'm going to share a bit more information about what it is, how you guys can get involved, both from a listening and actually getting involved in creating some of the content for it, and what we're trying to achieve with it in the process. I've got a few updates from one of our partners here at Yoast and a little update from Shopify as well. And then we'll crack on to talk about the summit, why we're running it, what it is, and how it all fits together. And again, how you can get involved, which is going to be awesome. From Yoast, we've got a few messages here from Alex. So thank you, Alex. Again, I know you listen to the show. And it was nice to share a beer with you recently as well. You're based on the other end of the UK. I know it's a tiny island, but our transport is terrible here. So it took me hours to get to you. But it was nice to share a beer with you just before Christmas. But Yoast, they've changed a few bits and pieces, which is the Sitekit by Google integration is now available to all Yoast customers on WordPress only. No, it's not the Winning with WordPress podcast. It doesn't exist. Well, if it does, it's not mine. But this is the Winning with Shopify podcast. But I know a lot of you guys are using Ecommerce, Magento, SAP, loads of other platforms, some custom builds as well. So that's only available to WordPress customers, but the Sitekit by Google integration is how you can use things like GA4, Google Search Console, and loads of other Google tools in there, all in one place. Nice and easy. A new thing, and I think this, because it doesn't say WP only in Alex's notes, so I think it's on Shopify and WordPress. You can now track brand visibility in Gemini with Yoast AI brand insights, which is quite cool. We talk a lot in SEO. What is the benefit of having a brand mention if there's no link? In SEO, we always want links. So there is some benefit, and it's quite good to have that in there. I've not played with it myself, but it is going to be on my radar to have a little play with that. I know my team have mentioned they've seen it. So we'll start using that very, very soon. I think this was all literally new stuff from last week. And finally, we'll link in the description to all three of these things, but we will link in the description, especially to this one, third and final point from Alex. Alex has written a blog post or article in Search Engine Journal, one of the big publications. I've been following it for nearly 20 years now, or probably I think since it was pretty much started. I think it was very early days when I first found it. But he's written a post about agentic. I had to Google how to say that. I've never heard that word before. I thought it was agnetic, but agentic, about agentic commerce may be relevant as UCP was launched on Sunday. I'm not going to talk about it today. We might touch on that a little bit more next week because there's quite a lot going on. The AI space is changing thick and fast, and it's changing very, very quickly as well. At the same time, it's not really hitting company bottom lines apart from an expense so far or process improvement. So when we talk about it in the context of Yoast, and Yoast is an SEO app for Shopify and for WordPress, it's actually, if you've never heard of it, it's the most used website plugin in the world. And that was thanks to its WordPress success. Been running on WordPress for a very, very long time. And they now have a Shopify integration. You get a small discount through us as well. So go and check out the partner offers on our website, or it might be in the description as well if Byron's had a chance to add that. But we'll make sure there is a link to Alex's article in there. He talks about all of it. I had a quick glance earlier and it's very, very interesting, and I'd highly recommend it, especially if you're getting into the nuts and bolts of AI, SEO, and how things are changing in the SEO space. One from Shopify, and then we can get onto the good stuff. Look at this, 4 minutes, and we're getting into the good stuff, which is very, very short. There's loads of other news I'm not covering this week, but we might talk about it next week. You can now get better insights from your returns with category-specific return reasons. Shopify now suggests relevant reasons based on what's being returned, so you can improve your products and operations, which is quite exciting. They published it on the 16th of January. So this will be going out on the 20th of January, so it'll be 4 days old. That would have been, was it Friday? 16, 17, 18. Yeah, Friday. It'll be Friday. How exciting. So you can get better insights basically on why people are returning things and category-specific returns. So what category of type of or reason as to why they've returned it based on the products, which I think is really, really cool. There's lots of people that get products returned into their business. And you so often customers, and in most countries, the rules are you just have to accept the return and refund it. And there's like a notice period of people who have just changed their minds. The laws when it comes to returns in most places are very favorable to the customer, not very favorable to the brand, which is fine. As a brand, you want to try and improve your products, your processes, your communication as good as possible so people don't want to return stuff. That is the solution here, and that is what the governments are trying to get you to do. Anyway, how exciting. Our summit, about 2 years ago, I'm going to rewind the clock. About 2 years ago, I had this idea of running a massive conference. And it wasn't because I wanted to run a conference. It was actually because a lot of the conferences that I go to or engage with, the online ones tend to be pretty rubbish. The content tends to be quite slow. If it's the first time you're ever hearing my voice, you can tell I speak quickly. Annoyingly, I think even faster than I'm speaking. And I still speak before I think, which is a joke, but it does happen. I think one of the issues I find is I sit through an hour-long talk and there's one or two good things at the end of it. I'm like, okay, that was kind of interesting. Occasionally I find a speaker or a talk I go to, which is absolutely incredible and I can't get enough of it. But generally speaking, you want to get through content quickly. And when you're physically at a conference, I just think conferences and panels and things, you just want the output. What do these guys say? Well, the guys from this brand said this, or the guys from this company and this tech platform said this. That's what you want to get to. And that's the way the digital world has changed. It's very, very quick and easy to get stuff. If you find a long article online now, you chuck it into ChatGPT and say, summarize this article for me. You go to a meeting for 3 hours and use AI note takers, even as a voice note on your phone or something, and use an AI note taker. And at the end, summarize these notes, and it summarizes the notes for you. So what I've always wanted to do, and specifically around Shopify, given that we run this podcast, I've always wanted to have some sort of conference, an e-summit, and we're going to call it a summit. It's going to be called the Shopify Summit, or the unofficial Shopify Summit, might add. And we're calling it that because we want online content where people can pick and choose what they want to listen to. And again, you're online, so you can scroll through content, get to stuff really, really quickly and just go, okay, that message there is really, really relevant to me. Or you can go through like that talks. You start a talk and go, it's not great, or it's not relevant to me. You go on to the next talk. This is a really cool talk, but it's not relevant for me. Get onto the next one. Right, this is where I'm at. This is the stuff I really, really want to find out. So that's the context of this. And for about 2 years, I've been sitting there thinking, this is a nightmare. It's just too much work. And I can't be bothered to get all this stuff together. But in 2025, I found the energy and I spoke to Byron and a couple of the guys in the team and said, right, I think we're going to do this. I think we're just going to give this a go and see how many people sign up. So that is what we are doing. There are loads of ways you guys can get involved. So the plan is we are going to try and create, and this is a big statement, and if we don't achieve this, fine. You don't have a good target, you're definitely not going to achieve something or feel satisfied. We're going to try and create the world's biggest unofficial Shopify Summit. There haven't been many up until now, so that's not going to be a huge challenge. But we do want we want to create the biggest depository of content specifically about Shopify to ever be released on a single day. The content's going to be live for a year, and we will also include probably some follow-up bits based on feedback, based on comments, based on engagement. So if lots of people engage with a specific brand or topic or theme, or I'll talk through the different stages in a minute as well. There's going to be multiple stages with different themes on each stage. And you can pick and choose which stage you go to, what content you watch on that stage, etc. It's not going to be a summit where it's going to last 6 days and you have to sit there and watch all the content to find the bits that you want to watch. Everything's going to be published in one go, and you can go and choose what you want to listen to. So we're going to try and break a record of having the most Shopify content ever released on a single day in a single platform ever on any website, any publication. Some of the stages, and again, this is just a list at the moment, and we've got speakers signing up, we've got sponsors signing up, and we've also got brands signing up as well to come and have a chat or reaching out to us about this. So one of the stages is going to be all about brand stories, which is going to be similar to what we do on the podcast, but we're going to have these short, sharp, snappy, hey, I run this brand, this is when we got started, these are the 3 biggest challenges we've gone through, and this is where we are today, this is where we're trying to go. And try and keep things short and snappy and stick to the good stuff, like I try and do on a Friday episode. But we're going to have loads of them. And again, they're going to be available for a year in one single place. We're going to have a marketing and sales stage. So we're going to have some brands featured on that, some tech tools, some pieces of software, some Shopify apps, sharing how you can increase your sales, how you can do marketing better, more streamlined, how you can invest more, how you can make more profit out of marketing and sales, where my heart very much lies in that stage right there. And the brand stories. I run a podcast. I've heard so many great brand stories. We've had so many great brands on the show. I can't even remember a bad brand. I think we've only ever had, even when I sort of think like, oh, this is going to be a bit of an average show, you get talking to people and you find out so much interesting stuff. Plus, I love connecting with people as well. So the brand stage and the marketing and sales stage, those are the two that are going to be really exciting, I think, for me. The other stages, though, do fascinate me. The next one is about customer retention and lifetime value. So naturally, we're going to be talking about loyalty. We're probably going to have, I know our guys, sponsors at Saguna are going to be involved in that stage as well, and sharing some tips about how you can build the right automation flows and other bits and pieces. We're still agreeing some of the content with them at the moment. The fourth stage is going to be about finance and back office, all the boring stuff, but the stuff that if you don't get it right, your business is going to fall apart. So we're certainly going to have Tax Cloud involved in that. Again, one of our partners here. And the other thing I want to really bring to life in that is how to make finance and things really, really easy. How you guys can actually keep up to date and in touch with how your business is actually ticking, what's really driving revenue right now. Going back to that thing I just shared about Shopify, if I just scroll back up. So we're talking about the return rates. If you can use data in your finances on a real-time dashboard to understand your return rates, what's being returned and why, you can start making changes very, very quickly to things before you get more returns. So you can stop the problem before it grows any more. So actually that back office and finance, I'm calling it at the moment. We'll come up with a better name for the stage itself. But I think that's imperatively important. And so many businesses get a great product, customers love it, and they're happy to pay for it. And they start growing this business and the whole thing falls apart because they've not got their finances in order correctly, or don't know where their profit's coming from. They don't know where to double down. It can be a real problem. Stage number 5, warehouse and logistics. I should shout all our partners out. So Inventory Planner, we're going to shout you out as well. The guys at Inventory Planner are amazing. The software is incredible, and it can predict when you're going to need to top up stock based on how long it takes to get it in stock. When you're thinking about things like Black Friday, if you've been using something like Inventory Planner for, 5 or 8 years now, then when you get to Black Friday, it tells you exactly what you need to stock. And it also tells marketing what to push, what to pull, etc. We're going to have those guys obviously heavily involved in your inventory management as a piece of software. We're also going to have some companies that provide warehousing, provide fulfillment, provide logistical solutions in there as well. We are going to have a stage number 1, 2, 3. I haven't numbered these. Number 6 is going to be about HR and legal. Because if your business starts growing, you're going to have to start to hire people. And you're also going to have to work around the legalities of things. So we're going to have some expert advice on that. I think it's such a sidestep from my world. It's probably the place I'm going to struggle the most to get good speakers to come to. But as soon as you've got a plan, you can prevail. So I'm going to move heaven and earth to get some good people to come and share on that stage. And finally, last but not least, we're going to have the Shopify app stage. So one video from each app that wants to feature on that stage, quickly showcasing their app, why it's the best app. So if you're looking for apps to install on your store, which I know you all are, some of our most popular episodes cover this as well. When I've done, what are my top 10 apps? I haven't done one for a couple of years, but some of the most popular episodes, like what are my top 10 apps that I'm using at the moment, recommending to clients and why. The problem we've got is because we have sponsors, we want to push our sponsors because we've chosen our sponsors for specific reasons. And sometimes I do endorse apps just because I love them, not because they sponsor us or pay us any money. But we're going to have that app stage as well. So if you're looking for new apps for your business, or you're like, I just want to, like if you're anything like me, I just want to install cool tech. I'm always looking for new apps to put on my phone, my Apple Watch, even in my car. I've got a BMW and I'm so often going, what new app could I put in the BMW that could help me? I got an app the other day. It's a plug-in hybrid, so I can charge it when I'm out and about. And I got a new app the other day that's much better than the one I was using to find chargers out and about. And it tells you where car chargers are without you having to log into each car charger app to see if they've got one nearby. It gives you all the chargers in one place. It's way better than the one I was using before. So I'm always on the lookout for new tech. And if you run a Shopify store, you're doing the same. It's like there's an app that can change your product title based on personalization to make it more dynamic to the person that's on the site to try and get them to buy the product. Oh, that's cool. Could that increase my conversion rates? Maybe. Will it affect my page speed? Maybe. And so actually watching app videos about how these apps run on the app stage could be absolutely imperative. So naturally, we're going to have this content live for a full year. And if things go well on the unofficial Shopify Summit 2026, we're going to do, guess what? A 2027 Summit as well. We're going to make it even bigger and better. Once we've done one, and it might be a bit ropey at first, so please bear with us. But it might be a bit ropey in the first year. We might find a couple of technical issues. We might have issues getting enough speakers for the actual event, all that sort of stuff, which doesn't seem to be a problem so far since we started putting the net out to existing partners, previous sponsors, previous podcast guests. Seems to be absolutely fine, but please bear with us. Year 2, if we do if you support us enough in year 1 and bear with us a little bit and help make this amazing, I can guarantee year 2 is going to be much, much better because we would have some learnings and we can keep going with it. And like all of you guys, You all jumped off a cliff at some point and started a Shopify business. We're jumping off a cliff and starting a summit to bring better content to all of you guys. So it's going to be live for a full year, but we're probably going to put some exclusive interviews and things live on there after launch as well. So there'll be a bit of extra content to look out for. We've also got a few big names and headline speakers and brands. I'm going to do our marketing really, really well by not telling you today who they are. We're going to start drip feeding that through our newsletter. So it's going to be very different from the podcast. I'm not going to be featuring everything, which should be joy to all of you, because anyone who's been tuning into the show for a while will be very, very bored of my voice. I said that the other day, and I got 2 people emailing going, I love your voice. Your recommendations are great. Thank you so much. And I've got in quite a long email chain with Sue about this. So Sue, thanks so much for reaching out. I said to give you a little shout out. But you've asked some amazing questions. And I've been answering Sue on dictation in my car on the drive home. So I love your emails, Sue. But been talking to people. So yeah, there'll be lots and lots of content on there. Lots of the content will be added by the companies, the brands themselves, without too much influence from me. There will be a few interviews that I'm going to do as well. But I want to get great content out to people, and I want to do it in mass and let you guys start to look at which stages, which bits of content you want to look at. The other thing we're going to do with some of that information is the more popular topics, the more popular content, the more popular stages or talks or particular videos people are really, really engaging with. We're going to do more content like that on the podcast as well. So it'll help us give you guys better content. Of course, the podcast is free to tune in. And you're probably sitting there going, how much is the summit going to cost, Nick? And I have some really bad news, I'm afraid. It's going to cost nothing. It's going to be free. It's bad news for me, great news for all of you guys. But we're going to launch the whole thing for free, and we're probably going to keep it free forever. There's no premium content. There's no upsell. We're going to be charging some of the sponsors, some of the speakers to come on, and it's as simple as that. But like the podcast, we're not just going to let anybody on. We're going to vet everybody that wants to come. So the final 2 things from me are how you guys can get involved. If you're a brand with a really cool story, please reach out to us for 2 reasons. Number one is I'd love to have you on the show. Most of the brands you hear on the show, either we've reached out and said, hey, we love what you're doing. Please, could you come on the podcast? Like, we'd love to interview you. Or they've reached out to us and said, hey, you mentioned this the other day. We had that problem, but we did this about it. And it's like, yeah, get on the show. We'd love to have you on. And we don't charge brands to get involved, or merchants, as Shopify calls you guys, which I don't like, because that sounds like Shopify just there to merchandise some money out of you. But we don't charge brands to come on the show. So if you want to come on the show and you want to get involved in the summit as well, we might give you a specific topic and say, can you record a 20-minute video about this specific part of your business? And we'll feature that on the brand's stage. Obviously, if you're an agency, an app, a tech platform, there are so many opportunities to get involved. We, being totally transparent with everybody listening to the show, we've had times in the past, but not for a very long time, not for years now, but we had times in the past where we didn't have a sponsor. And if we don't have sponsors, we don't have any income, and it's quite hard to pay the team behind the scenes here who make the show happen. I run my agency, and lots of you guys reach out and want help from the agency, so it works for me. But actually trying to fund the P&L of the podcast has been a challenge in the past. The last couple of years, we've done very, very well, and we're very happy with that. And we do have a waiting list of sponsors. So naturally, we've offered them some slots. So if you want to sponsor the show, get your brand out there and use our podcast and our platform and everything to do that, you can't use the podcast anymore because we don't have any space for sponsors until at least, I think it's July, August time is when the first one comes up. So there's loads and loads of opportunities to get involved in the summit as well, which is one of the reasons we're running it. Is there's so much cool tech out there we want to feature. Some people can't afford to sponsor the podcast. Here's a way we can get them involved, get them in front of all you guys as brands so you can see what's going on. Anyway, I'm going to leave that with you guys today. If you want to sign up, head over to www.podcast.com, click on Shopify Summit 2026, and just go and join the newsletter there, or join the email list, and you'll be the first to hear about things that are coming up over the next few months. Heading into September, we're going to launch the whole thing on the 1st of September. I'm going to be honest as well. It's great that we get brands on the show, and brands often share their story of saying, I was so scared launching this, but it was all a big success. We worked really hard. We got it wrong a few times, and then it was a success. I'm going to be totally open and say, I'm terrified of doing this right now. The easy thing was not to do a summit and keep it really, 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 really simple. But if you don't try stuff, you're not going to succeed. We've tried so many things through the podcast before that have completely failed. We've also tried 3 or 4 things. One being this Tuesday Tea Break Talks. We get more emails at the moment about Tuesday Tea Break Talks than we do about our guests on Friday, which either means I'm not answering enough questions or it's because people are engaged. But either way, it's great to have you guys tuning in with us. So the summit is a way of us giving you more of the things that we're good at and the things we're giving back. But I am terrified. So the sooner you guys go and sign up to that, and the sooner anyone who's interested in speaking, sponsoring, sharing their story, talking about their app on on the summit stages, the sooner you guys sign up, the quicker my anxiety is going to go down. So please go and join that list. You can also join the newsletter as well, and you can hear about all the episodes that are coming out twice a week and some of the exclusive offers and things on there as well. I think that's it from me today. Thank you so much for tuning in, everybody. I hope you go and sign up to that summit. Otherwise, it's going to be a very, very awkward occasion on the 1st of September where it's just me and Byron and nobody listening and nobody presenting. It's going to be a complete disaster. So we're trying to add more value to all of you guys. So please go and get involved. Hope you enjoyed today's episode. We'll be back again on Friday with another interview with, I think we've got a brand on this week. I can't remember. It's Monday morning when I'm recording this, so I completely forget the schedule. But yeah, we'll have another brand on. If you haven't already, please hit subscribe on whatever channel you're listening to this. And please give us an honest review of how much you love or dislike the podcast. And if you think we could do anything better, send us an email, hello@winningwithshopify.com. Thanks so much for tuning in. See you all next time.